Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and whom we respect, Mrs. Yuniningsih as a lecturer in the Comparative State Administration course. I'm Syaqila Luthfia Akmalita as a moderator of this presentation. Before we start to this presentation, the Group 6 have their own title. There are the comparison between Indonesia and South Korea tourism policies after the COVID-19 pandemic. So, let me introduce the member of Group 6. There are the first one is Silviana Prastika. The second is Syaqila Luthfia Akmalita. That's me. The third is Thessalonika Feren Yesnat. The fourth is Septiana Nur Adho'ah. And the last one is Eva Septiani. So without any further ado, let's start the presentation for the first presenter. Good, please.
According to economic analyst Roland Berger and Jacob, one of the economic activities that has experienced the most severe impact caused by the COVID-19 pandemic is the tourism industry. As a result of the implementation of mobility restriction and advice not to travel and gather in large numbers, many potential tourists cancel visit to tourist attraction object. Jacob stated that the important role of the tourism sector is very broad as a source of foreign exchange, encouraging national economic growth, especially to absorb labor so that unemployment decreases and increases the country's productivity. The tourism sector is an important and strategic sector in tourism development as part of national development. Thanks.
Thank you to my partner Septiana as the first presenter. Before we discussing the core topic of discussion, I would like to recalling what comparative state administration is. So basically, comparative state administration is a science that examines the state service system and state administration using the comparative approach. So the next one, we continue to the ecological approach. We have two experts who talks about the ecological approach. There are Suskitiapno on 2007, ecologists approach problem from a holistic viewpoint related to the whole system. And the second one is Yunus on 2008, analysis of the interrelation between humans who carry out their daily activities and or their activities with the environment. And we have our own statement. There are the ecological approach is the meaning of the self-explanatory method uses the study of the correlation between human and environmental variables. The next. So the next one, we talk about the tourism. Tourism is a journey that is carried out temporarily from one area to another area and aims to have fun by enjoying tourist objects while on the trip. According to Jamison and Nobel on 2000, there are several important principles that need to be considered. The first one is build and shape a more developed and advanced society. The second is help create jobs, and the third is clear rules and goals. For further discussion will be explained by my partner as the presenter Thessalonika. Good, please.
Okay, all right. Then there is the function of the tourism sector. Tourism's function to fulfill the physical, spiritual, and intellectual needs of every tourist with recreation and travel, as well as increase state revenues to realize people welfare. Okay, next. Okay, first, the tourism impact from an economical and socio-cultural perspective. As for the impact arising from the tourism economic impact is expanding employee opportunities, increase business opportunities, increasing income, maintaining local culture. The local culture is known by tourists. And from socio-cultural impact is demographic structure change, change in type of work, change in value, decrease in value, change in delay consumption patterns. Okay, the next slide will be explained by my friend Silviana.
Thanks, Thessalonica, for the opportunity. Next, we will talk about conditions of Indonesian tourism post-pandemic. Since the end of 2021, the government has implemented a number of programs or policy and reopened visits for foreign tourism. The number of visits by foreign tourism to Indonesia in September 2022 reached 538,010.8. Tourism is from Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the UK. Next, we will talk of Indonesian policy provision of budget incentives to priority tourism sectors, bubble travel in Batam and Bintan, 3G program like Move Together, work on our field potential. And next feature programs like Tourism Village Awards, Creativity Regency or City Development, Indonesian Creative Appreciation. And also the government improved tourism destination infrastructure. Protocols based on cleanliness, health, safety, and environmental sustainability. The government is also doing implementation of virtual and hybrid events. They also doing promotion of destinations like campaign, key opinion leaders, and sales mission. They are also doing quarantine free for foreign travelers and visa on arrival service. In the next slide will be explained by Eva.
Thank you, Sylvie. Communication of South Korea tourism post-pandemic COVID-19. Overnight travel bubble return to normal after the COVID-19 pandemic. Reopening of the short-term travel visa and e-visa program. Many of the modern shopping areas have reopened. There is no social distancing policy, but citizens are orderly to ask masks. Now, Denmark market is crowded because medical colorization around the market. Policy post-pandemic COVID-19. Opened travel bubble tourism in Singapore, Taiwan, and Thailand, revoking the 7-day quarantine obligation for tourism who have not been vaccinated. Foreign tourists are still requested to run a PCR test with 3 days of arriving in Korea. Normalization of all international flights. Lifting of the curfew for arrival from abroad at Incheon International Airport. Thank you, and moderator.
Thank you so much to all presenters for their presentation. The conclusion in Group 6 presentation is that the tourism industry is the one of the economic activities most affected by COVID-19, such as tourism in Indonesia and South Korea. As an effort to accelerate economic recovery, the governments of Indonesia and South Korea have both implemented the travel bubble policy, which is limit travel between countries that agree with it while still implementing health protocols that meet cleanliness, health, safety, and environmental sustainability, or we call CHSE standards. Thank you for your attention. Sorry if there are wrong words. I close this presentation. Good afternoon and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.